at the pond here, and while I'm getting ready, we're going to be fishing the chatterbait. And we're going to give this guy an opportunity. It's raining, so as I prepare to go out here at the pond to, basically be a little uncomfortable. Sometimes that's the way you got to be if you're going to catch some fish. So I have a raincoat. Let's get out there and do some fishing, shall we? Okay, we will. I know you said surely. There we go. Okay, I think the glasses are just gonna absolutely aggravate me with the rain here. So yeah, I'm just gonna throw a few casts in and we'll see what happens. Okay, I gotta see what I have here in my old bag of tricks. This is basically my lures from when I was, I don't want to say a kid, but quite younger. And I just threw a bunch of stuff in here, and I wanted to see if there was anything in here that might be a little more encouraging. And I think we're gonna throw this on. This has a little bit of orange, and I think this will be a nice, this will go nicely with that chatterbait. Now I think I will need my glasses. And I just think we have maybe a little more red, too much red here. Decided that I want to have a little swim action here, and I'm not getting that from what we're going with here. So this is going to add a little green pumpkin into it too. These baits are pretty much, I've used these a couple times. These are by Yum, I believe. They're pretty much one use. Once you use them, if things don't go well, they're pretty much done. They've decided that they were going to put this split in the middle, which could be nice for the fish. They may attract the fish, but as far as in a catch, you can see they tear quite easily in the middle. Made by Yum, they'll catch fish. So the nice thing too about the Jeeps are when you turn the glass up, it's like you have this nice little area where you don't get covered in rain. So it's kind of nice. Really completely changed the action of this lure. I've got a little bit of swim tail now instead of having just that worm tail. It's added to the action of this lure. But we'll keep after it here. Let's see what happens. I managed to get tangled all over. I got hung up on a weed down there, and when I thrusted it through, it just came flying out at me. Not looking too good. We'll take a couple more casts over here and one more shot. So it's cold, it's rainy. Got some weeds on here again. I don't want to make the mistake I made before and just yank on it. So anyway, it's cold, it's rainy. As I said, it was supposed to snow last night. It may have, and then turned to freezing rain, then turned to rain, then turned to full rain. And it's about maybe 40 degrees. It's chilly though with the rain. It's raw. So giving it a shot. You know, sometimes when things are at their worst, fishing can be at its best. So that's why I'm giving it a shot. Like I said, you know, figured I'd throw a few casts in here. You know, I'm understanding that the reds this time of year are supposed to be pretty good. So figured I want to give this a shot. This chatterbait made by Jackhammer. Actually, it's a we'll just call it a Jackhammer. Chatterbait style. You know, I wanted to give it a good opportunity to see if it's got something to do with this early spring. I haven't caught a bass in some time. Good long few weeks, almost a month. You know, I'm watching some guys fish here for the crappie, and they are pulling in some crappie, but the bass have not been hitting lately. Caught one small bass recently, maybe about a week and a half ago. But it's just been really tough for the largemouth. They're just not hitting. I really like the way this moves. Besides having the chatter or, you know, the Jackhammer effect, this lure that I put on, or this plastic that I put on, is kind of chattering, but it's also kind of giving kind of this mermaidy kind of fishing look as it goes through the water. I think it's a nice effect, but will it catch fish? Try not to go too fast either, because if the water was super cold, I'm thinking the fish might be a little more lethargic. They may not be as aggressive. It's a fine line of being able to run that lure slow, but also keeping it above the weed factor without getting hung up. It's making it kind of tough. I'm gonna dead stick this, and I'm gonna almost use my Jackhammer like a jig. Instead of a bladed jig, I'm gonna just drop it in where I think there could be a potential of having a fish. So I got a couple like weeds just coming up a little bit. I'm gonna go on those outskirts, kind of let it sit there just a moment, and then I'm gonna bring it through. Yeah, so I'm just gonna let that sit there for a moment. I'm gonna treat this more like a regular jig. I'm gonna jig them. This has a very weedy bottom, but they're the good weeds, not the you know, foxtail, spirilla, not those slimy, snotty weeds. I hate those. I can't remember what they call that. I do not like that. Yeah. The ones that you feel like you got to take the scissors out on. The real wiry, grassy kind of weeds. Yeah, you can see I just went right into a weed factor and boom, locked me up. The thing I like about the Jackhammers and the chatterbaits are that blade can get itself through some weed factor. It'll chop right through it. So here's some of the things I was talking about. If you can see, we got 8 geese coming through, 6 geese. Like I said, you know, here I am out in the rain. I mean, probably to a lot of you, it looks miserable. Why are you out there, man? Come on. You're not going to catch a fish in that stuff, even if you did. Look at the elements you got to battle. But, you know, now I'm seeing a couple geese fly by, which is kind of cool. You know, you're not going to get a lot of people to come out at this time. You know, between the rain and the cold. Okay, we'll put one more cast in, and I think we're going to have to call it. The rain's starting to get right through my raincoat, actually. you say last cast, but you always throw that last one in because you want to make sure that you knot up or bird nest. Yeah, maybe we'll get out again today if the rain starts to slow down. This is only supposed to be 70% chance. This looks pretty 100% to me. Well, that'll do it for this one. We gave it hell. We're uncomfortable, we're cold, my gloves are wet, my body's wet, we're all wet. Yay, wet, we're wet. Hey, I really appreciate you watching. This is a little short one. Maybe, you know, maybe this won't be the ending. Maybe this will just be the first precursor to the ending. But yeah, let's make our way. We'll grab those bagels. We'll have some breakfast. Okay. Well, we didn't catch one on that one. But we gave it a shot, and that's all we can do. You know, pick the best lure that you like, a lure that suits you, something that you enjoy casting. If nothing else, you're gonna get the cast, practice on the cast. Makes me a better fisherman in the long run. The part of catching fish is easy. You set the hook, you bring them in. I shouldn't say easy. Once you set the hook, you're pretty good. You're just bringing them in. You know, sometimes you gotta take your time with some fish that are battling. You know, you want to wear them out a little bit. Times where you can wear them out so badly that they don't even want to swim after, and you're fearful that they're not going to make it. For the most part, the casting is the tough part. To be able to target, get your distances to where you want. You know, I really enjoy that, especially when it comes time to jig fishing. When you want to hit a specific spot, to be able to cast your rod and be able to hit that spot, take advantage of these times that we're not catching fish, and feel comfortable with the fact that you're learning, and not even learning, adapting to your equipment and being able to cast where you want to get, where you want that lure to land. I know we're all going to go out there, we're going to try to cast as far as we can. That's just human nature, to see how far you can get that lure out. But once in a while, take some time, pick a spot, and try to drop it in those spots. I always try to think of myself in the center of a clock. 9, 10, 11, 12, 1, 2, 3, and I'll try to zap those areas, and maybe I'll even cut those areas in half. Just kind of create some kind of a half pie and try to get some accuracy on my casting. Let's go get a bagel. Enough of me.